And wake up. Good morning, family. Welcome, everyone. You are here live on Wake Up Wednesdays.
Wake up!
And wherever you are, we would love to hear where you're coming from. Good morning, Mike. Good to see you here. Good morning,
Good
Eddie,
morning, Mike.
Kevin.
Good morning, everyone. How does it get any better?
How
How
does
is
it?
everybody doing today? How are you, Ben? How are you doing?
Well, I'm really thrilled to be here. I was sharing a little bit earlier. I'm really uncomfortable, and the word anxious came up this morning, but we've been
Okay.
labeling, I feel like people are labeling anxiety so easily now. And so I'm actually starting to get curious about that. What's really going on underneath that?
Right.
And for me, it's
Okay.
just been a little fear and a little discomfort. So I'm noticing I'm feeling really uncomfortable because I'm about to go on a men's retreat for 3 days. And it's something that I know and love, but I haven't been on it in a long time. And so one of the reasons I'm going is to practice being uncomfortable, to practice being with men in person again, because I really want to lead men in person, facilitate groups soon. And I've had a lot of fear around that since the pandemic. It's been really uncomfortable and new for me. So practicing getting comfortable being uncomfortable, as
Amazing.
Daniel has
And
shared.
also,
I'm going to do
can
that to
you?
and they're coming in like an hour so to pick me up. So I'm like on the way. So I have that
Wow.
energy like, oh my God.
Oh
Like I'm
my
excited to be here and my life
God.
is gonna look really different in like two
Look,
hours.
how can it work out better than you ever imagined, right? How can that
It's a great
uncomfort?
question.
How can it work out better than you've ever imagined? And honestly, let's
It's my favorite
acknowledge.
question.
Exactly, mine too. And let's acknowledge and really, really thank you for your vulnerability again,
Thank you.
and the honesty that you show up with. Because I'll be the first to tell you that I have not always been that person. And I had the awareness to talk about today how we lie to ourselves,
Yeah.
right? And how often do we lie to ourselves in order to make ourselves feel better, in order to feel like we fit in? Because, oftentimes also, especially, in Ben, what we do, we perceive that there's an expectation, right? In order for us to show up, to be a good coach, to be a good facilitator, to be a good healer, that we also need to be able to have our shit together,
It
right?
helps.
It helps. It definitely helps. Definitely is a great marketing tool. But how often are we excluding ourselves in that by lying to ourselves and saying, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm great. I'm a healer. I'm a this. I'm a coach. I'm a this. I got this together." Blah 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 blah. But what if it was not necessarily about lying to yourself, but about working through all of those energies to facilitate a greater ease, right? To say, okay, you know what? I acknowledge that I'm
Greater
anxious here.
ease.
Greater ease. Greater ease. I acknowledge that I'm anxious here, right? I acknowledge that this is uncomfortable for me. I acknowledge that I'm about to go diving into the abyss that makes me might not feel so wonderful, so easy. Acknowledge it and then say, okay, you know what? What can I choose here that is going to be raw and real and honest, and that's going to allow me to have the full experience? As opposed to, if you went into this men's retreat and you were like, I got my shit together. I'm Ben Curtis. I'm the coach of all coaches, and I've got my shit together. Would you get something out of it? Yeah. But would you
Not
get
nearly as much.
everything?
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And so what can we do to create more sense of ease with that? Like, that's what I
Yeah.
want to really, really play with and invite people to,
And I love that you're
know?
talking about this, Daniel. And the reason I brought that up, and I'm even, I share my truth always. But the other thing is, too, is that it took me a while to get clear of whether or not I actually wanted to be part of this experience, or if I wanted to want to be part of it, or
Yeah,
if I
of course.
was actually trying to make myself want to be part of it. And I could not get clear on my truth and whether or not I was lying to myself. And so this was so clear. And I think a lot of people, I did get clear with this. And
Yes.
and it made a huge difference, and I had some relief, and I just talked through it, and we can always look for what's underneath it, and I think that's a great thing, as well as how can this work out better than we imagine. But if you're lying to yourself, so many of us are, right? I'm curious, if you're listening right now, is there anyone who doesn't lie to themselves or who's never lied to themselves?
Exactly.
Right? And you can comment if you have it, or if you lied to yourself today, type me right down in the comments so that we can get really honest. Like, oh, I have 5 more minutes, those things, like, is that true? Or it's okay if I do this, I'll feel okay with myself. And there's all these times when we make ourselves do things and we're lying to ourselves about it. And we cannot have solid, amazing, incredible, joyful, thriving relationships until we get right with ourselves first. And that can even be with, are you lying to yourself about the job that you're in, or the position you're in, or about, not saying yes to something that you really want to go for? Have you been lying to yourself to keep yourself small and safe this whole time? And then of course you're going to experience anxiety. Yeah. And by the way, I don't think anyone has anxiety. I think we experience anxiety, which can just be some worry for the future, depression in the past, anxiety future. Yeah. So if we're feeling anxious, either our nervous system is telling us something that we don't feel safe, and then you can ask yourself, is this real? Is this true? Am I safe? Or is this, perceived threat? Is this from the past? Who does this belong to? Yeah.
What can we do with it? It also reminds me, Ben, something that's really, really, really important where we lie to ourselves is whenever we say, I don't know. Whenever you say, I don't know, you're lying to yourself. Whenever you say, I can't do that, you're lying to yourself. Okay? So instead of saying, I don't know and I can't, ask yourself, what if I did know? I'm choosing to say that I don't know, and therefore I recognize and honor that I'm lying to myself. But if that's the choice that I'm making now, what could I choose? What is this? What's behind this I don't know? And then see what kind of awareness pops. What if you did know? Every single session that I have, at some point with a client, it comes up, I ask them something and they go, I don't know. And I always ask them, what if you did know? If you did know. And then they go, what do you mean? What if I did know? La, la, la. And then I say, make it up. I ask them to make it up. Because
that's
sometimes
good.
When we make something up, it is actually from the creator. It's from our subconscious mind. It's not necessarily that it is something that that we do know or that we are aware of, but when we ask ourselves that question, it pulls it out of the subconscious mind. What are we unwilling to face? What are we unwilling to see? That if we actually did see it, might actually completely change our reality for the better.
I love that. So what if you did know? I'm really curious, and I think I may have been on mute for a while here on StreamYard, so we'll see what people say later, but we're back, so in case you missed what I said before. But what if we did know? What action would you take today? If you're listening right now, and is there any area of your life where you think, I don't know, just be with us here? And if there is, what is that area, and where are you lying to yourself about that? Like, what if you did know? What action would you take differently today?
I have a question for you, Ben, that I think you and I both can relate to. Have you ever had, I'm going to say, imposter syndrome?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
All the time, right?
Yeah, it comes up a lot, and every coach I talk to has that. Well, who am I to do this? And I don't have the certifications yet. So I said, listen, have you lived through life up to this point? Do you have wisdom to share? And by the way, you don't have to have any answers. You can be just a great space of listening for someone else. You get to declare yourself that when you say yes.
Right.
But that comes up a lot for sure, Daniel. Yeah, if I get hired for a big job and, I've learned to train my brain out of that. Like, no, I am good. Like, I am good at this. I know why I'm here. Right. But that's taken time.
Yeah, and what if that imposter syndrome, like, okay, let's imagine that we are actually choosing that imposter syndrome, right? We choose it. So if we choose that imposter syndrome, we're choosing it to avoid something, which means we're lying to ourselves. So why are we choosing that, right? Why do you think that you choose imposter syndrome?
That's a great question. Because being a victim is more familiar than stepping into my power.
I love it.
I think that's
you know
why.
what it is?
Being like, it's easier to not be responsible, be like, I don't know, and to like shine away from my power and light and my wisdom. It's easier to deflect it and hide. It feels easier. It's not actually.
Right.
Than to actually step forward. What about for you?
I feel like I'm going to screw somebody up. Right? Like, who am I? They came to me. Who am I? Who do I know? What do I know? I don't understand. Why did they choose me? I'm going to screw them up. I'm going to mess them up even further. But if we really trust the universe, we know that everybody finds and chooses exactly who is brought into your life, because it's an energy that is far bigger than us. It's far bigger than us. Look at our meeting.
Well, and and I'm curious, Daniel, you said, and I wonder, who does that belong to, that you're afraid you're going to screw somebody up?
Oh yeah, totally. So many past lives burned at the stake for being a medicine man or a healer or a witch. And we all have them, by the way. So if you guys are watching this and you're like, oh, that's really interesting, there's a good chance that it's also reflected in you. So what would it take for you to step into your power? Every single one of us is a healer, Ben. You know that. Every single one of us is a healer. We're lying to ourselves if we don't acknowledge that every single one of us is a healer.
I was just going to say that. How interesting, Daniel. It's like we're in tune.
Shocker.
Well, Becky commented on here, and she said, I feel like someone will attack me. So this is an interesting point of view. And this is actually, there's a fun exercise or challenge I give my clients sometimes, and it's called joy alarms. And it's just setting an alarm throughout the day to choose joy. But to take it a level deeper, I have something called security approval control. And it's, when the alarm goes off 3 times a day, and my coach gave me this once, to stop and pause and ask myself, secure, am I safe? Am I safe right now? Is there anyone coming to get me? No. Okay. Approval. Do I love and approve of myself right now? Yes or no? And if either way, am I loved? Well, yeah, someone loves me. And then, so security, approval, control. Am I in control of everything I can control today? Yes or no? And if yes or if no, am I in control? Okay, is there something I could do, an action I could take? And then the last one is celebrate. And so you just celebrate the awareness that you've just gone through, and you just go, you celebrate, you get your body. And basically what you're doing is you're reprogramming your nervous system to celebrate and to positively reinforce your awareness. And so you start training yourself to have awareness. Yeah. And even if you continue to feel like you're not safe, it's a great check-in for your body. It's like, oh, that's not real. Yeah, okay, I can keep going. And what is that threat? Like, that someone will attack you. And then what'll happen if you're attacked? Or then what'll happen if you think you messed them up and they say, you messed me up, like, then what? Right? Because each person comes to you voluntarily, open, seeking something, and you can't make them do anything else, right? You offer things. That's right. So you're not actually fully responsible for whether you mess someone up. Yes, if you lead them into a trauma and you don't know how to lead people out of a trauma, or they get triggered, and it can be, you have to be careful when dealing with trauma sometimes, but it's something that we all can listen to ourselves and say, am I okay and ready and willing to deal with this? Not yes or no. And if not, why? And you can start to talk about it there, right? So there are safe ways to lead people, but it's really interesting. I wonder if anyone else listening here feels like they're going to be threatened if they do something differently. You know, I hear a lot of men feel like if I'm vulnerable, I'm not safe, right? So I'm curious. It was a great reflection, Becky. Like, who else relates to that here? Who's listening this morning?
You know, I have a similar exercise that I do personally. I haven't assigned it to my clients, and so you just gave me a really great idea. I have the alarm thing too, but it goes off randomly. I have it set so it goes off randomly, and it pops up on my screen, and I ask myself, who does this belong to? And sometimes it'll pop up and say, how does it get any better than this? And it's amazing. Because again, what those questions do is they bring us back to the present, right? They bring us back to the present, because oftentimes when we're in that moment and we're feeling all of that energy, then we get lost in it. But if something comes around and says, hey, you know, who does this belong to? I can say, this is not mine, right? Recognizing that we are all these energetic, psychic magnets, pulling energy from everywhere and saying, hey, you know what? Okay, who does this belong to? Wow, this isn't mine. I don't have to fix this. I can just let it go, right?
Yeah.
And I love that tool that you gave us today, Ben. That's phenomenal.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'd be happy to send it to anyone who's listening. You can just DM me. I'll send. It's on my YouTube page as well. It's about how to. I think it says like how to shift depression in 2 minutes or less, because it really is a quick exercise, and if you practice doing it over and over, it's made a big difference for me. I started being able to access joy in a way that was really unfamiliar, you know, and so it's all about a practice. So where in your life are you still lying to yourself that, you know, you can't do something, or that you don't know, or that you're not able to? And what might happen? Yeah.
Would you be willing to choose today to get so super honest and so super vulnerable with yourself that you're like, man, what is this? And where am I today? And what can I choose today for me? Right? What can I choose today for me? Wow. Oh my God, I can do this, and I can do that, and I can do this, and I can do that. Becoming so brutally honest with yourself. You know, so many of us, especially, I'm sure much of our audience, you know, we care so deeply about other people, and that's a wonderful thing, and it's a wonderful trait, guys, right? It's a wonderful trait to care so deeply about other people, but we care so deeply about other people that we lie to ourselves, right? And so what would it take to be completely honest and true to us, including everybody else? You know, and just a little energetic boost. You know, I think right now we're in this interesting time when we're in the sign of Taurus, right? It's the sign of Taurus. We had the new moon on Sunday, and we had an eclipse. There's all this energy coming out.
That's a powerful energy. Yeah.
Such a powerful energy. And right now we're going to become more aware of it, because where we are at now, we are going to want to be comfortable. The Taurus energy is all about comfort. Okay. So everywhere where you're uncomfortable is going to come up in your life, and you're going to be like, what is it going to take for me to get comfortable? And that's why, Ben, we've been talking so much about getting comfortable being uncomfortable. If you're comfortable being uncomfortable, you'll never be uncomfortable. Right? So let's utilize this energy. Let's utilize the Taurus moon and the Taurus energy and the Taurus sun to really, really, really find our place and our presence to connect with this physical, earthly environment around us, but to be so honest with ourselves that we can really include us.
Yeah. And can we make time to actually, even like 1 to 3 minutes, set a timer, and you know, so I love timers, because we'll think about, we have to face these huge things, but we can literally set 1 minute a day to imagine and just listen. What if I did know? Yeah. What would I choose newly now? or even asking the universe or God or friends or whatever your higher power is, or nature, like, can you help me understand my truth? Like, I really cannot find my clarity. And Daniel and I have all types of great ways to listen and find your yes and your no, but there's you can actually start to ask for that awareness, ask for the wisdom, ask to know what it's like to know, right? And if you're a no person, dare to say yes this week. I invite you to say yes to something, one thing that makes you uncomfortable this week. And if you're a yes person to everything, I dare you to like slow down and maybe say no to one thing and just be still and listen to what's really going on in there sometimes. To practice those healthy, powerful boundaries. And
let us know, guys.
Please let us know.
We now, thank you, Becky, so much for doing this, but we have a Wake Up Wednesday Facebook page. Okay? We have a Wake Up Wednesday Facebook page, and let's start to create and foster a sense of community there. So Becky, maybe Becky can post this for us on the Facebook page. Where did you get uncomfortable being comfortable? Right. Is that what I'm talking about? Where did you get comfortable being uncomfortable this week? And what can we do to inspire each other to say, hey, keep on going, keep choosing. That's awesome. You know? So we want to hear from you. We want to hear from you guys. We want to hear absolutely everything. How you're growing, how you're shifting, how you're changing, and so that we can inspire each other.
Yeah, so we can wake up to our potential.
How does it get any better?
Well, I think this has been a great, shorter and sweet episode. And Daniel, I've got to get ready to go, so I'm going to sign off here in just a couple minutes.
Absolutely, Ben. Thank you so much. As always, have an amazing time. How long is your retreat?
I'm gonna come meditate with you as well. It's I'm back Friday. It's only like 48 hours. And so, there's so many cool things you can practice out there doing that. I just went on a medicine drum workshop for one afternoon in a teepee with 16 women, and finding my own healing. And there's all types of I can't wait to tell you about that. There's a whole nother story there with a shaman, and I'm going to be using this drum in my healing ceremonies in person and ceremonies, whatever gatherings I'm going to be having in the Hudson Valley here in the near future.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. So you'll be there, Daniel, and
I will totally be there.
Everyone listening will be part of it as well. We're so grateful to have you all here this morning, this afternoon, wherever you're listening from, whether live or in person. We just want to thank you. If you're here, you are waking up to your potential. You're in the right place, and you're already seeking your own wisdom. And so we invite you to listen more to that. You are powerful. And if there's anything you want to talk about, come find us. Send us messages on our Instagram bios. You can get in touch with us really easily, or anywhere on these social medias. Subscribe and tell one person today. I invite you to tell one person in your life about this, someone who could use some little dose of wake up.
Love and support.
That's right. Waking up to their potential.
Exactly. Also, Ben, I am inspired to share with our audience. I would love for everybody to come experience my meditation program. Download. It is at 8:45 Eastern Standard Time every single day, live. And if you join my Facebook page, The Provocative Intuitive, then there will be information there on where you can join. There is typically a monthly fee for it, but we're going to waive the monthly fee for the month of May, so that everybody can have a taste of what it feels like to dedicate 15 minutes a day to meditating. So we love it. We honor it, right, Ben?
Yes, it's one of my favorite parts of my day and how I start my day so often. I'm just pulling up the Facebook page for us. It is, for all of you wondering, and I'll type it in here, it's facebook.com/wakeupwednesdays podcast. So I'll put the link in here, and you can go comment there. You can go join that group. And Daniel's group, say that one more time, Daniel.
The Provocative Intuitive Facebook group.
Yeah, wake
Facebook
up.
page.
Provocative Intuitive. Yeah, so that is his Instagram handle, so it'll be really easy to find that. And then once you join there, it'll be and I'm a member. I meditate with Daniel every morning, and it's the favorite part of my day. And if I miss it, I bug his producer later, and I'd say, I want the meditation.
That's right.
Love you all so much. Have a beautiful, blessed day, and come see us same time next week and listen to our podcast. We have a lot of great episodes all on these different areas to help you wake up to your potential.
Exactly. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Ben. Have a wonderful week, and how does it get any better?
Thank you, Daniel.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.